everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Hermione. Today I'm going to be sharing some DIY projects that are back to school themed, but if you're not going back to school, do not worry. These are all very kind of stationary, organization, desk supply themed items that you can use in a home office or an office if you would like. Also, if this video is just a little bit too early, I'm really sorry. I just wanted to make sure it went up in plenty of time for the people who go back to school late July, kind of early August time, which by the way, that sounds horrible. I feel for you guys. Anyway, I hope this does get you a little bit motivated for that back to school season, or just to kind of, you know, spice up your desk and your office space. Without further ado, let's get into these DIY back to school organizational supplies. Let's go. First up is this copper pencil storage, and this is so simple to make, but I think it looks really interesting on a desk, so here's how it's made. You'll need a long piece of copper pipe for this and a copper pipe cutter. The cutter is pretty inexpensive from your local home improvement store. All you have to do with this is just spin it around in the direction it has labeled on the cutter a few times and it should pop off really easily. Obviously be careful of the blade with the cutter, so you know, don't hurt yourself with this, but it should be pretty straightforward and it's very easy to do. I cut 5 pieces for this at alternating lengths. You can do as many as you'd like, but once you're done, you can sand the edges using some sandpaper just to make sure that they're not rough anymore. And if you want to polish them up a bit, you can actually use some ketchup, which is really strange, but it definitely does the job and it makes them look a lot shinier than they used to. It gets rid of a lot of the scuff marks too, as you can see here. Glue them together with some super strength glue. You can't use hot glue for these because they kind of just fall away from the hot glue for some reason. So lie them flat on a table or a flat surface and make sure the bottom of the pencil holder is all nice and straight when you're putting them together, and then leave them to dry for as long as you need to. To stop your pencils from making a mark on the table, you can put some blue tack or some air dry clay in the bottom of the pipes. This should harden up and make it so that your pencils don't make a mess, and there you go. You have a nice little copper pipe pencil holder. Next up, I wanted to show you guys how to make a clear wall calendar. I love clear acrylic frames. I think they look so nice, so I decided to make a calendar version. This works best if you use post-it notes to organize because you can move them around and change them as you need to. For this project, I'm using an old IKEA frame. This is the one that has the plastic in it, so it's not glass. I wouldn't recommend using glass for this. So with the plastic piece of frame, I'm going ahead and using some very thin washi tape to mark out my grid. I'm doing a 7x2, so I've got a little bit of space at the top for the days of the week, and using a ruler to get the measurements nice and even. Then to mark the days of the week, I'm just using some letter stickers and sticking those in place. And then this is how mine turned out. So if you're doing this too, yours might look very similar. When you hang it up on the wall, I would recommend using clear command strips because I used the white ones and you can totally see them, but I didn't have the clear ones. But yeah, this was my budget-friendly take on the acrylic frame trend, and I think it was really useful and organizational too. Next up is some file holders and paper holders for your desk, and I'm flashing it back way back to my childhood because I used to make all kinds of stationery pots and things from cardboard and recycled materials. So if you want to see how I made this, let's get into it. I'm using 2 cereal boxes here that are the exact same size. Make sure that they fit whatever you want to put in them, notebooks, files, papers, etc. So I'm marking up the front and the back of my paper holders. For this project, I decided to do 5 inches at the front and 7 at the back so that the middle was 6, but you can make this as tall or short as you would like. These are just very easy measurements to follow up. So then you can connect those lines using your pencil and go ahead and do this around the whole box so that you can start cutting it out. Cut them as neatly as possible and preferably use some sharp scissors for this, otherwise you'll end up with like jagged edges, and we don't want that because we're about to go ahead and cover it in contact paper. So go ahead and roll out your contact paper. Mine is from a store called Sostrine Green, I think that's how you say it. And anyway, make sure that you have enough space for both of your cardboard boxes and then cut it to size. You definitely can use wrapping paper, but contact paper is A, easier, and B, it looks so much nicer once you're finished. Then just peel back your paper on a flat surface and place your boxes onto it, making sure they're flat with no air bubbles. Wrap it all the way around, and then once you're done, you can use your scissors to cut some notches at the top where you've got the excess contact paper, and then fold these over. Do the same on the bottom too to make it nice and neat. Once your boxes are done, you can go ahead and glue them together. I like hot glue because it dries very quickly, but you can use whatever glue will keep them in place. And there you have it, a really simple way to organize your folders and your files on your desk, and it was just made using recycled materials that you can probably find lying around your kitchen. Next up is this very simple frame that you can use to hang any reminders that you really need to have right in front of you on your desk or somewhere in your room. It's just a simple way to make sure that your to-do list is right in front of you, so let's get into it. This one is very, very simple. So all I'm doing is painting an old frame. I'm painting it with a light lilac color, and then I took out all of the insides, including the glass, and I filled it with this old scrap material that I had lying around. Once you've done that, you can put the whole thing back together, but don't put the glass back in. And then all you need to do is hot glue a bulldog clip to the top to keep your paper in place. You can actually do this by applying a piece of washi tape and then putting the glue onto the bulldog clip and the clip onto the washi tape. This way you won't destroy your frame if you want to use it again. And there you have it, a very simple DIY just to keep you motivated and on track with your to-do list. That is everything for today's video. I really hope you all enjoyed it and it inspired you to get creative and work on your workspace. I have a few more back to school and stationery ideas up my sleeve, which, I mean, I don't really have actual sleeves today. That's not the point. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you in my next one. Bye.